Imagine waking up tomorrow morning feeling like you have finally unlocked the secret to true vitality, not through some expensive miracle supplement or grueling exercise regimen, but through a simple piece of paper that many of us look at once a year and promptly forget. If you are over the age of 60, there's a very high probability that your current approach to blood work is leaving massive gaps in your health strategy. You might be checking the basics, but you are likely missing the 5 critical biomarkers that act as the true dashboard for your longevity. If you stay with me through this entire guide, you will understand exactly what to ask your doctor for during your next checkup, and more importantly, you will know why these specific numbers act as a silent architect of your energy, your mood, and your future health. Before we dive into the science, take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because understanding your own biology is the first step toward reclaiming your independence. While you are at it, drop a comment below letting me know which of these 5 tests you have or have not had checked in the last 12 months, as your answers help me tailor this channel to your specific needs. I am Dr. Harrison Blake, and for the past 15 years, I have dedicated my career to demystifying the complex world of internal medicine for people who are tired of feeling lethargic, anxious, or just plain older than their years. My goal has always been simple: to bridge the gap between rigorous clinical data and the practical, everyday habits that actually move the needle on your health. I have seen thousands of patients walk through my doors feeling washed out, only to realize that their lab work was telling a story they were never taught how to read. We're going to change that today. Let's start with the first and perhaps most misunderstood component of your blood panel, the ApoB test. Most of us are familiar with the standard lipid profile, which looks at your total cholesterol, HDL, and LDL. But here's the problem. Standard LDL testing is like trying to count the number of passengers on a train by only looking at the size of the train itself. It does not tell you if the train is dangerous. ApoB, however, measures the actual number of particles that are responsible for building up plaques in your arteries. If you are over 60, your risk of cardiovascular events increases, and relying solely on standard LDL can give you a false sense of security. You want to know the total count of those dangerous particles, not just the mass. Think of your arteries like pipes in an old house. It is not just the pressure that matters, but how much sediment is floating in the water. By testing for ApoB, you get a much clearer picture of your actual risk of heart disease, allowing you and your physician to make decisions based on reality rather than estimates. Moving on to our second essential biomarker, we need to discuss your fasting insulin level. Most annual physicals stop at glucose or blood sugar, but blood sugar is a lagging indicator. By the time your fasting glucose hits a level that triggers a warning from your doctor, your body has likely been struggling with insulin resistance for years. Fasting insulin is the early warning system. Imagine your cells are rooms in a hotel, and insulin is the key to get the energy, which is a guest, into the room. When you have insulin resistance, the locks on the doors get jammed. Your pancreas works overtime to pump out more keys, keeping your blood sugar in the normal range for a long time, right up until the moment it cannot keep up anymore. If you check your fasting insulin, you can see the struggle happening long before you become pre-diabetic. Keeping this number low is one of the most effective ways to preserve your energy levels and protect your brain health as you age. The third test that is often overlooked is the hs-CRP, or high-sensitivity C-reactive protein. This is your master switch for whole-body inflammation. As we get older, we tend to accumulate what scientists call inflammaging, a low-level, chronic state of internal fire that slowly degrades our tissues. You might feel it as joint pain, brain fog, or general fatigue. The hs-CRP test measures the level of inflammation circulating in your blood. If it is elevated, it is a signal that your immune system is distracted and working overtime. By lowering this number through anti-inflammatory nutrition and targeted lifestyle changes, you stop the slow erosion of your health. It is not just about avoiding disease. It is about feeling light, clear-headed, and vibrant every single day. Our fourth priority is a hemoglobin A1C, but with a specific focus on the trend. You probably know this one as the 3-month average of your blood sugar. However, the mistake many people make is looking at a single number on a single sheet of paper. You need to look at your historical trend. If your A1C is slowly creeping upward year after year, even if it is still within the normal range, You are on a trajectory that you need to address now. Think of it like the gas gauge in your car. You do not wait until the needle hits empty to start looking for a gas station. If you see the needle moving toward empty, you change your habits before you are stranded on the side of the road. Your A1C is the most reliable way to ensure your metabolic health is moving in the right direction. Finally, the fifth test that changes everything is your vitamin D3 level, specifically 25-hydroxyvitamin D. This is not just a vitamin. It is a hormone that regulates hundreds of processes in your body, from your bone density to your immune function and even your mood. After 60, our skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight, and our gut becomes less efficient at absorbing it from our food. By focusing on ApoB, fasting insulin, hs-CRP, A1C trends, and vitamin D3, you're creating a map of your internal landscape. You are moving from a reactive model of healthcare, where you wait for symptoms to appear before looking for a problem, to a proactive model of longevity. It is the difference between driving through a thick fog and driving with high beams on a clear night. You can see the road ahead, you can navigate the turns, and you can enjoy the journey with confidence. I want you to look back at the last few months of your life. Have you been feeling that mid-afternoon slump? Is your sleep quality suffering? Does your thinking feel a bit cloudy? These are all signals from your body, and these 5 tests are the decoder ring that explains what those signals mean. You do not have to settle for the standard decline that society tells us is inevitable after 60. With the right data, you can optimize your metabolism, stabilize your energy, and reclaim the vitality you deserve. It takes a small amount of effort to request these tests, but the payoff is a lifetime of better decisions and a higher quality of life. Let us quickly recap the steps. First, focus on the particle count with ApoB rather than just the basic cholesterol. Second, monitor your fasting insulin as an early warning system for your metabolic health. Third, keep your inflammation marker, hs-CRP, low to prevent chronic degradation of your cells. Fourth, watch the trend of your A1C, not just a current snapshot, to ensure you're on a path of long-term stability. And fifth, optimize your vitamin D3 levels to support your immune system, your bones, and your mental clarity. These are the pillars of a robust health strategy for anyone over 60 who refuses to simply accept the status quo. We have covered a lot of ground today, and I am proud of you for taking the time to learn these foundational concepts. It is rarely the massive, complex changes that yield the best results. It is the small, consistent, and well-informed shifts in how you treat your body that lead to the most significant transformations. You now know more about your blood work than most people ever will, and that power is yours to keep and use. Do not let this information gather dust. Call your clinic, schedule your next checkup, and make sure these 5 metrics are on your agenda. Before you head out, I want to thank you for sticking with me throughout this entire deep dive. If you found this information helpful, please share it with a friend or family member who is also looking to take control of their health. A simple share can be the catalyst for someone else to make a life-changing decision. Also, make sure to hit that like button to help this message reach more people who need to hear it. And do not forget to subscribe so we can continue this journey toward longevity together. Remember, the goal is not just to live longer, but to live better, with more energy, more clarity, and the independence to enjoy every single day to the fullest. Thank you for being a part of this community, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we will continue to break down the science of living well. Stay curious, stay proactive, and keep listening to what your body is telling you. You have everything you need to start this journey today, and I am right here with you every step of the way. Prioritize your health, demand the best for your life, and I will see you very soon for more insights on your path to peak wellness. Now that we have established the physiological foundation of your health, I want to pivot our focus toward a subject that is often whispered about in doctors' offices, but rarely addressed with the tactical precision it deserves. We are going to discuss the psychological architecture of aging. Many of you have told me in the comments section that while you possess the knowledge to change your health, you feel a lingering sense of hesitation, a quiet voice that asks whether it's truly worth the effort to start a new regimen at this stage in life. I am here to tell you that this skepticism is not just normal. It is a neurological artifact of how we perceive aging in our society. The media often portrays the later chapters of life as a period of inevitable decline, a slow fade into the background. I want to challenge that narrative completely today, because the biology of human resilience suggests something entirely different. Your cells are in a constant state of turnover, and while the rate may shift, the capacity for adaptation remains high even into your 80s and 90s. The barrier is rarely physical. If your pantry is filled with processed foods that were engineered in a lab to trigger your cravings, you are fighting a losing battle against your own biology every single night. You are making your willpower do the heavy lifting that your kitchen should be doing for you. Start by auditing your environment. Remove the items that you know do not serve your long-term goals. Replace them with high-protein, whole food options that make it easier to succeed. It sounds simple, but the friction of having to leave your house to get food that is bad for you is often enough to break the habit loop. Make the right choice the easy choice. If you have to work hard to find a snack, you'll often find that the craving passes before you even get up from your chair. I also want to touch upon the importance of social connectivity as a clinical metric. I know this sounds like a soft skill, but the medical literature on the impact of isolation is staggering. Longevity is not just about the numbers on your blood panel. It is about the quality of the connections you maintain. People who remain socially active, who engage in meaningful discourse, and who continue to learn new skills, consistently outperform those who withdraw. This is why I encourage you to find groups, whether they're walking clubs, book circles, or fitness classes, that challenge you. The act of showing up for someone else is a powerful motivator to show up for yourself. When you are part of community, you are held accountable. You are seen. You are expected to be there. And that sense of responsibility is a potent elixir for the aging mind. I want to pivot back to the concept of movement, specifically resistance training. I have seen too many people focus exclusively on steady-state cardio, thinking that a long walk is a pinnacle of physical health. While walking is foundational and non-negotiable, it is not enough to maintain the muscle mass required for long-term independence. As we age, we enter a phase we call sarcopenia, or the natural loss of muscle mass. Left unchecked, this leads to frailty, which is a primary driver of loss of independence in our later years. You must introduce tension. Whether you use resistance bands, light weights, or simply your own body weight, the goal is to provide a stimulus that tells your body that muscle is still a high-priority asset. You do not need to aim for the physique of a bodybuilder. You simply need enough density to support your joints, protect your bones, and maintain a high resting metabolic rate. When you have more muscle, your body handles glucose better, your insulin sensitivity improves, and your inflammation markers drop. It is a virtuous cycle that reinforces every other metric we have discussed. As we move toward the final sections of this masterclass, I want you to reflect on the legacy you are building. When you prioritize your health, you are not just doing it for yourself. You are doing it for your children, your grandchildren, and your friends. You are defining what the later years look like for the people in your orbit. By choosing to take control of your blood work, by choosing to move with purpose, and by choosing to curate your environment, you are modeling success for everyone who looks up to you. You are becoming the evidence that aging does not have to be a slow descent into limitation. You are proving that it can be a time of wisdom, strength, and continued contribution. I see many of you asking how to talk to your doctors about these specific metrics, especially when you encounter resistance or dismissal. My advice is to come prepared. Physicians are often pressed for time, and if you walk in with a vague complaint, you will get a vague solution. Walk in with your list. Tell them clearly, I want to optimize my health for longevity, and I have identified these 5 areas as my primary focus. If they are not interested in helping you reach optimal and only want to keep you within the normal range, find a new provider. You are the CEO of your own health. You are the one who has to live in your body for the rest of your life. Do not let outdated medical guidelines dictate the ceiling of your potential. Lastly, I want to leave you with this. The journey to peak wellness is not a straight line. There will be days when you fall off the wagon, when the diet slips, when the movement feels like a chore, and when the numbers on the scale don't move the way you want them to. That is okay. The difference between those who achieve longevity and those who do not is not perfection. It is persistence. It is the ability to acknowledge the stumble, learn from the moment, and get right back to the protocol the very next morning. Consistency over time is the only secret that truly works. Do not be discouraged by the speed of your progress. Focus on the direction. As long as you are moving toward a healthier, more vibrant version of yourself, you are winning. Thank you once more for the trust you have placed in me by allowing me to guide you through these concepts. We have covered the biological, the psychological, and the practical aspects of thriving after 60. You have the tools, you have the strategy, and you have the community of people here who are all working toward the same goal. Keep the dialogue open in the comments. Share your victories. And don't be afraid to ask for help when the path gets narrow. We are in this together, and I cannot wait to hear about the progress you make in the coming months. Stay focused, stay bold, and keep pushing for the life you deserve. This is only the beginning.